Hi everyone. So did you get a hydrangea for Easter that you bought at some department store or grocery store or big box store, and somebody bought it for you as a gift, or you bought it for yourself because you wanted some color in the house, and now that Easter is over and you don't know what to do with it and it's starting to die back, or the flowers are starting to look a little brown or tinge? Well, I'm going to show you how you can take advantage of that plant and use it out in the garden by putting it into a container, and then later on you can pot it up with your annual flowers and have a beautiful arrangement. I picked up this self-watering pot from Walmart, and here's the self-watering drain on it, and here is the insides. Now, I wanted a white pot to show off the pink blooms, which is fantastic. However, I think these holes here are a little too big, and I think the dirt will fall through. So I went out and grabbed a piece of landscape fabric that I had a roll in my shed. And this is just, fairly thin stuff. You can see my hands through it. Just enough to keep the dirt from falling into the pot. And we're gonna tape this to the edge and then put our dirt on top. For some reason, my camera did not video when I put the actual landscape fabric in the pot and taped it to the sides. But in this shot here, you can see the tape on the sides, and it shows that the landscape fabric is coming a good halfway to 3/4 of the way up the sides. It's low enough though, so it's disguised for when you put your bedding plants in, and it's not showing above the soil line, which is right at the top there where the markers are. So right here, I am backfilling in the soil, and it's just a generic soil that I got at Walmart, a potting soil, and I'm just filling in and tamping down around the plant to firm it in the center. And I'm holding the leaves up so I don't crush them when I do this. And I'm filling it up to that edge to make sure I've got a nice rim on it for when I put those bedding plants in the pot. This is now full of dirt. You can see I've got it pretty good up to the edge and covering the plant, and I've watered it from the top to give it a good soaking. You can see how beautiful it is. Now this is starting to go, these flowers. We're starting to see a bit of brown on the edges. You can see it in there, right in the edge there. And other than that though, this one has done really well. These were super cheap. I got them for like $14.99 at our grocery store warehouse. And some of them weren't in that great a shape, but this one was. It all depends how well the staff water them, if they're gonna survive and do well in your home, but you can still save some of them. And I wanna show you that. So this is called an early pink hydrangea. These are good for zones 6 to 9. These are not good in our colder climates. That's why they're house plants for us. And these tend to come out at Easter when they bring out all the pretty pastel colors. But we can save it, and which I mentioned earlier. And this is why I potted it up, is so that I can put it on the deck, and then I'm gonna go and add some bedding plants in here and some trailing whites and stuff to make it really pretty. The flowers will be cut back. I will go ahead and I will cut it down right to this next set of leaves here, okay? You'll see it. Put this leaf out of the way. See this set of leaves where my finger's pointing right here? Up close. I will cut it back to this set of leaves here when it's in good shape like this. However, my other one, which you will know in the video when I did the arrangement, was hurting. And it had not been cared for the same. So I potted it up and I gave it a severe trim back. You can see here how much I have cut it back. And at first it was all twigs, no buds. Now it's leafing out. So you can save these when they're in really bad shape, and you can cut them back and plant them up and put them on your deck, and it will grow, and just feed it. Now I am using a granular fertilizer on these and a liquid fertilizer on them, and I'll show you what I'm using here. For the granular fertilizer, I use what I can find locally. So I found the Miracle Grow all-purpose shake and feed, and that works just fine, you guys. Miracle Grow does get a bad rap, but it actually does feed the plants. It's a 12-4-8 fertilizer. It contains organic ingredients. It's got kelp, earthworms, feather meal, and bone meal in it. So it's a well-balanced fertilizer for these plants. So nothing wrong with using it. Other fertilizer I am going to use on it is my seaweed fertilizer concentrate, and I'll just mix up a cap full in a bucket of water and feed these. And these need to be kept moist. Don't let your hydrangeas dry out, because if you let them dry out, they will die. And that's what happens in the stores when they have them if they don't maintain the water level. And water in the center on these when you first plant them, where that original root ball was. Eventually they will send out roots into the soil and they will start really taking off with their growth, and then I can water from the bottom on these self-watering pods. We'll see how these do with it being self-watering. I'm curious to see if they work. They looked like they would work on the inside the way they were set up, because they had some areas that were higher and lower. So lower areas would leach up the water into the pot and into the root ball. So that is perfect. So we're going to test these out, and they're going to be on my deck initially. I may move them around, but we'll see how they do. So go ahead, if you have the hydrangeas, try to save them, because I think they're worth it with these kind of coloring. And if you have a hydrangea that's suffering, cut it back hard like this one. I almost treat it like I do my miniature roses with the cutting back, you know, and that seems to work and save them. And then when you put them outside, it gives them a new life. So give it a try. I hope you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to leave me a comment. Let me know if you've done any of this. I wish I would have picked up one of the purplish blue ones now, but next time I see one I might do that, because I'm gonna try to bring these into the house in the fall and keep them going. So you guys will get to experience that with me and see how well I do or how well I fail. But anyhow, thanks for watching my videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.